everybody. We're on a road trip. We kept this kind of quiet.
Yeah, very quiet.
And we're on a road trip. We're doing a challenge between two electric cars. We're driving to San Diego to film in San Diego, and then we're filming in
San Francisco.
Potentially to two different places in San Francisco. And then we're heading back to Portland again. We're not going to the LA Auto Show, if people are asking. One of the reasons we're not going to the LA Auto Show is because it clashes with something else that I'm doing. And also, the last time we went to the LA Auto Show, it sucked.
Yes, spectacularly. It was a very, very unpleasant time. Apart from crawling under the bowlinger.
Yes, which we got a really good photo of. And
Yeah.
I don't know where the original flat is. So we are on a road trip. We left. Hello, Anthony. Good to see you.
Hello.
We left Portland this morning at 10 minutes to 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Although we had to get up really early because
Yes.
we had to do the filming thing first. We met Winter and Erin. They are in Winter's Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive long range. And right now they are
closing in on
They
our
are closing
position.
in on us. We are... Hi, Sherelle. They are very close to us right
They
now.
are going to pass
they
us
are-
while we do this live stream.
They are going to pass us while we're on the live stream. But interestingly, up to this point, we've basically been trading places.
Yeah.
And we've, I think, probably been ahead for the majority of the trip.
Yeah, probably.
They were ahead to begin with. They stopped first. We overtook them. And then we kept that lead until we charged. And we only charged like about 80 miles ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally long enough for us to get the drinks, which are still hot.
Yeah.
And then we will be leaving here as soon as we have reached whatever the state of charge is that we need to get to our next point.
I think it said 77,
I think
which I thought was a bit over the top.
I think it might be because when we arrive at our next destination, we have a tough decision, right? We have to decide whether we're going to arrive, because we've agreed at lunchtime we're not going to charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like an idiot for suggesting that. Because where we're stopping for lunch, there's no Tesla supercharger. And so therefore, we didn't want to make it easier or harder on one team. So we said when we get to our lunch stop, we would ideally like to not be charging. It still says we're going to get there at 3:09.
Mm-hmm. And I think...
Which will basically be a lupper.
Yeah. Lupper.
A lupper.
I mean, it's kind of... Isn't that a 50 kilowatt charger, though?
It is.
So it makes more sense for us to take a bit more charge now.
Yep.
And then skip on after that, because we're not going to be able to charge over a meal. If we were going to charge over a meal, it would be fine.
Right. This is our second charging stop of the day, though.
Mm-hmm.
Winter and Erin have charged
Twice already.
twice. And I think they're heading all the way to our destination. In fact, how many percentages? So we've got access to each other's telematics. We also haven't said what we're in, but I think it's pretty obvious from earlier on. So this is
ponies.
it has a pony. We are in an electric pony, a bright yellow orange electric pony. We have been here for 10 minutes and we've added 18 kilowatt hours,
So
which is
they
pretty good.
are at 59%.
They are at 59%
Yeah.
and they've got 122 miles to go. They're going to need to charge again.
They are going to need...
Either that or they're going to charge afterwards, which would be sneaky.
Well, I don't know where the nearest charger is to our destination.
So I'm thinking we should charge up to 80
Okay.
and give ourselves a little bit of an extra buffer, because this car is capable of 270 miles.
Yeah, allegedly.
We did 190 this morning without any problems,
Yes.
and we had 20 miles when we arrived, so that would have been 210 miles.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we should be good. I think that's the way to do it. Let us know below if you'd like us to do the same thing. People are very, very curious about the Mustang. It's very fun to see the reaction of people on the road. They really like it.
It is really different to...
This gets more attention than a Tesla.
I think the experience driving the Bolt as well, like, we more got antipathy towards the Bolt. With this, there's enthusiasm. I mean, to be fair, it is tangerine orange and sparkly, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, we have a friend back in the UK that I'm thinking we should probably take a photograph for her. Mm-hmm. I know she prefers yellow.
She does.
But this is, I think,
it's
probably in her
close.
colour spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we are at 21 kilowatt hours that we've put in 11 minutes. And we're currently charging at 100 kilowatts.
Yeah, 102.
102 kilowatts. Now, when we charged earlier, and we did a kind of a rapid charge for the time it took us to get this, it maxed out at 160 kilowatts, didn't it? Mm-hmm. And if you're watching this, you are watching Take Two, which means you are super awesome because you know about the hidden channel. Let's talk about the Blue Cruise. So the purpose behind the trip was to test out Blue Cruise.
Yeah, and compare
it against Autopilot. We're going to swap cars after lunch.
Yeah.
One of us is.
Oh, now. Yes, that's true.
I think.
Yeah.
I think one of us will swap cars.
Yeah, that would be a way to screw with your teammates if we were both swapping, because you'd just be like, right, here's the car. By the way, it's got 2 miles of range. See us.
So it's not teammates against each other, it's cars against each other. So we're pitting the Marquis GT against the Model 3. And I know it's an older Model 3. The reason we're doing that is because getting hold of a new Tesla with autopilot, full self-driving is kind of tough.
Yeah.
But also, full self-driving and Blue Cruise are not really comparable, but Tesla Autopilot and Blue Cruise are really very close in what they do. Blue Cruise is hands-off on the freeway. Thank you, John. You're an absolute star. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blue Cruise is compatible on the freeway. Alright, it works.
You said compatible.
Bother. I'm tired.
Yes.
Blue Cruise works on the freeway and divided highways. Most of them. Mm-hmm. When your hands are off the wheel, it does everything. Then if it tells you to put your hands back on the wheel, it defaults to essentially what autopilot is.
A fancy lane keep assist.
Fancy lane keep assist with
lane
radar.
change.
Winter's car doesn't have lane change because he doesn't have enhanced autopilot.
Yeah.
So enhanced autopilot gives you lane change. What Winter's got on his car is essentially what you've got here when Blue Cruise wants you to have your hands on the wheel, but the car is still steering itself.
Yeah.
So, disclaimer thing, we went round corners and it handled corners.
Yes.
In Blue Cruise, hands off, just fine. And then when we went round some tighter corners, the car asked us to put our hands on the wheel, but it still did the work. We were just kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
How would you describe that? I don't know if we described that very well.
I think, I think you covered it very well. I mean, it is still providing enough force to steer you round the corner, but it is saying, I might not make this. You better have your hands on the steering wheel in case I don't.
Oh, interesting. It turned itself off.
It's gone to sleep.
It's gone to sleep because it's had enough.
It's nap time. We keep talking.
Yeah.
It's like I'm bored now.
But I mean, we're now 15 minutes in and we've added 27 kilowatt hours. So in 15 minutes, we've put more energy into the battery pack than the first generation Nissan Leaf. Just think about that for a second.
Yes.
You said that to me earlier.
I did. Because when we got our tea, it put more than a Leaf's battery in.
That's just...
It is wild. It is wild how much this is advanced.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. And the other thing that I just can't get my head around is how close the cars have been over this 250-mile stretch. It's about 260 miles we've done so far.
Yeah.
And the Bolt and the Mustang have been... Sorry, the Tesla and the Mustang have been pretty much neck and neck. To Winter's own admission, he thinks part of the challenge was his small bladder. So he was making more frequent stops, as he said in his own words.
He did. They've passed us now.
Where are they now?
They are heading towards the other exit from Grants Pass, I think.
Are they going to the Tesla supercharger there?
I don't know.
Because there's a Tesla supercharger down there.
What, up near Rogue River?
Maybe. But yeah, the fact they have passed us. What, they 10 miles ahead of us now?
Probably not even. Maybe
I think
5.
Sandy Munro had this experience when trying blue cars. And he had to get his hands back on the wheel. Yeah, Anthony, the problem with that is that everybody and their dog commented on the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT First Drive report that we did and said Blue Cruise is shit, it doesn't work on corners. Sandy Munro says it's dangerous and it doesn't work. But it does work. You just have to have your hands on the wheel like you would do with Tesla Autopilot right now. So I don't get it. I don't get where that characterization came from.
No, I mean,
honestly, without upsetting Sandy, without dissing Sandy, with all due respect, I think the problem there was a communication problem between the person he was with and his understanding of what the system was going to do. If they'd told him, when you get to a corner, it may ask you to put your hands on the wheel, or even just said, you need to watch for the sign. If it asks you to put your hands on the wheel, do it.
I think the other thing is that, and I've said this a few times, is there are 2 levels of notification for you need to put your hands on the wheel. And one of them is very subtle. It just kind of, the blue disappears and you fade back to I'm doing lane keep assist.
Yep.
And then it pops up a little alert if you don't put your hands on the wheel pretty quickly. And it doesn't make a sound, it just puts up a little display on the screen, and if you haven't glanced down, then I expect it gets more stroppy if you don't notice it in time. So if you're thinking you're in Blue Cruise and you don't notice it fade out, then you have a problem. There is definitely a second level where it goes, I don't think I'm going to do this, you need to take control, and that pops up an alert with a sound, which is much more obvious, and I think that's much more sensible.
Yeah.
I think that it would make it much clearer what it can and can't do if that notification for I maybe want a hand here was a bit more obvious.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. And I know that we've probably got the camera the wrong way around. I've just realised we're using landscape portrait.
Yes, it'll make people unhappy.
It will make people very unhappy, but this is an unofficial live stream and it's on the second channel, so go figure.
Yeah.
The 24 people who are watching right now, you are kind and wonderful people.
Yes.
So we're now at 50% almost. We're at 49 and a bit. We've been charging 50%. Thank you. We've been here 19 minutes and we put 19 minutes, 32 kilowatt hours. And I know that Teslas can charge faster, and I know that the Taycan can charge faster, but that's still impressive. Does the Mach-E belong to any of the Kates? Also, how is it? The Mach-E is a Ford press car. We are borrowing this for this trip. We pitched the idea to Ford and Ford said, yes, do it. And so that's what we're doing. So this is the Mach-E GT. My wife, Kate, not this Kate,
no.
The other Kate, has ordered a Mach-E all-wheel drive premium. So the standard range one with, more powerful than the regular one, but not quite as powerful as this one. So, how is it? Well, it's got a load of stuff in the back.
Yeah.
We put some old carpet on the floor.
Because it's a press car.
Because it's a press car, and I realised that the flight cases are really heavy. We've got some GoPros in the front of the car, one here, and one here. We need to change the batteries on those. It's a very smooth ride. It's very powerful. You can make the tyres chirp very easily, even in whisper mode. We haven't tried the engine noise. I mean, I've tried the engine noise before. You haven't.
I haven't, but I'm not a big fan of synthetic engine noises.
Synthetic engine noises are a bit weird. Do you want to turn the car on and we'll point out a couple of the cool features?
No, I'm being moved forwards. I always forget it does that.
Yeah, it does that. We have phone as a key set up, so my phone is this one here that I'm talking with you on is using phone as a key. But we can. It's always slower when it's booting up. I will point out that this is very slow right now. Normally it's not slow. So it's got performance anxiety, obviously. It takes a while when it starts up to get the system ready. So